everyone. Welcome back to LilyTube. We are Jeff and Cathy Teichert, your single life and relationship coaches. Today, we're diving into First Wives Club, the TV series based on the iconic 1996 movie. We'll be breaking down the themes, reacting to key moments, and sharing lessons from our own experience.
That's right, Cathy. This is for all of the divorced women and men who want to understand better what divorce is like from a woman's perspective. Don't worry, men, we have a video coming shortly with men's perspective on divorce too. But let's be honest, men and women often have experiences that are very different from each other, and even from person to person, that can be true. First Wives Club captures that in a way that's hilarious, but also in a way that resonates with how women navigate the complexities of divorce.
And trust us, we have thoughts on this. So let's get into it. One of the biggest themes we saw in the series, and a poignant moment as the final season wrapped up, is that first wives do the hard work. That really resonated with us because Jeff and I often say we're better spouses now than we were in our first marriages. It's not because we didn't try, but it's because we had to learn some hard lessons first.
Take Hazel. Now, she's this superstar singer, and at first she's obsessed with getting even with her ex. She's just so angry. But she matures, grows, she starts making better relationship and life choices, focusing on things that actually make a good relationship. And I got to tell you, I relate to that because my first marriage prompted questions during my subsequent dating years that I didn't even know to ask. Like, Hazel lets go of her anger over things she doesn't have control over. And as a result, she becomes a more positive person and learns to live a little bit more happily.
Now let's move to Bree and Gary. She's a successful surgeon who is hot and cold with her husband, who often doesn't have much time to nurture their marriage. As they struggle with breaches of fidelity and decide if they want to stay committed to each other, ultimately, they decide with therapy, time, and consistency that they're going to work through it, and they become stronger for it.
You can't run away from change. It's inevitable. And if you're not changing, you're not growing.
Kind of like these two, I also learned that a successful marriage is a lot more about intentionally loving your partner than being right. Now that sounds trite, but I think most of the arguments that happen in marriage are about preferences, not truth. For example, if your spouse wants to spend most of his evenings woodworking in the garage, is that really neglect? Let me answer that this way. If you want to claim some of his time, is it going to work better if you complain about how he isn't doing what he should? Or if you just ask for what you want in a positive way, instead of saying, you obviously love your woodworking projects a lot more than me? How about instead, I would love some couple time with you. I've been wanting to try out that new restaurant. Are you game? Now it seems obvious, but how many of us, almost unthinkingly, ask our spouses for things by complaining that they haven't done them? It's almost second nature for many of us.
A lot of what we end up fighting about in marriage is preference and also the way we choose to say things. And what's great is that change is inevitable. If we're not progressing, we're stuck. And we saw that in our own lives. After our divorces, we had to do our own work before we could create a healthy, better relationship than we'd ever had before.
Let's talk about one of the biggest myths, and that is that men move on easier after divorce. The truth is, they often just suppress emotions. Divorcing men actually die by suicide at 900% of the rate of women.
That is a shocking statistic. Women tend to process their grief differently, sometimes in extreme ways and sometimes with a passive-aggressive denial. A great example of this is Ari and David. She's an accomplished attorney who basically sacrifices her career for her politician husband. And when she finally quits, she swings to the other extreme and separates from her husband and throws herself into work.
And that distance in their marriage creates new challenges. It's a reminder that just because you've left an unhealthy situation doesn't necessarily mean that unhealthy situation has left you. Before my first wife and I separated, we were more or less separated in the same house for 2 years. And after that, we formally separated, and it took more than 2 years after for me to start feeling better inside.
I don't want to wake up my ex when I have to let the ladder down. To where? In the attic.
We gotta go. Look out below!
This moment in the First Wives Club cracks me up because, yes, sometimes the pettiest moments get us through a tough divorce.
And speaking of divorce settlements, please don't accept arrangements that are beneath you. Ladies, if your former husband is having sleepovers with other women in your shared home while you're living in the attic, just no.
Absolutely not. This is why her friends were throwing all of her stuff out of the attic and trying to get her out of that situation because she had accepted less than what is even tolerable for most people. Women tend to be cautious when signing legal papers, and for good reason. We need to think long term. If your ex is offering something that only benefits him, don't be afraid to say, I deserve better.
We are amazing, beautiful, intelligent, driven women, right?
Yes.
Divorce can feel very disempowering, but moments like this remind you who you are and the strength you bring to the world.
Now let's talk about dating after divorce because, whew, it's wild out there.
Yeah, we see it in Hazel's journey. At first, she's all about revenge like we talked about, but then she actually starts healing and relearning how to trust relationships and love more deeply.
Yes, I actually really loved her progress throughout the series. And yes, dating is awkward at times, which is why I love this next clip.
It's true what they say. Good friends make you laugh a little louder and make life a hell of a lot better.
That's so true. Divorce is really heavy, but laughter and support make all the difference. I tell you, for me, reaching out to old friends was tremendously healing. I looked at people from my high school years, my college years, my missionary service, cousins that were close to my age, and other old friends. My friends and my faith in God made an impossible situation more bearable. Women are better at this than men on the average. So guys, we need a support system too. Be bold and create one. Find friends.
And ladies, if you don't have a good support system, I know that you have the power in you to create one for yourself, and we definitely encourage that. Speaking of life after divorce, one of my favorite quotes from the show is,
A great philosopher once said, life begins at 40. Up until then, you're just doing the research.
Yeah, Kathy, that hits home. Our first marriages were research. Our current marriage, that's the good stuff. Just one example, in my first marriage, my wife wanted a lot more alone time. I wanted a lot more time to talk and connect. A lot of the time she felt smothered and I felt lonely. I probably wouldn't marry again with someone I had that big of an intimacy gap with. It was a question I didn't even know to ask in my 20s. But what if I did? Well, for one thing, I would start building a broader network of friends instead of pressing my wife to meet most of my social needs. A group of guys to play basketball with one night a week would have helped a lot. So learning that was part of doing the research for better relationships in the future.
as Jeff was saying, and as this show indicates, women need a strong support system outside their marriages. We all need more than one person to fulfill our social needs. And this is a great show depicting that. And of course, it's something that we recommend, especially after divorce. So if you're out there feeling like love has passed you by, remember, your best chapter can still be ahead of you if you create it to be so.
All right, friends, that's our take on First Wives Club. Let us know in the comments, what was your favorite lesson from the show? And women, what are your perspectives on divorce?
If you're navigating life after divorce, remember, you're not alone. Keep growing, keep learning, and trust your next chapter is worth it.
Like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time on LilyTube. Until then, remember that any time, especially post-divorce, is a great time for more love in your life.
And when I go out with you, don't put me on display.
Pretty good.
You remember, you don't own me.
This video is sponsored by New Calm, an app that will support you in living your best life. Feeling stressed? No matter what your day throws at you, In just a few minutes, you can feel recharged, centered, and ready to go. Try it for yourself and feel the difference. Click on the link in our video description. Thanks for joining us for another week on LilyTube. If you enjoy what you see, support us by liking, commenting, and sharing your favorite videos with others who could benefit.
As single life and relationship coaches, our mission is to help single adults intentionally heal from loss to create a happy life and healthy relationships. Keep coming back and we'll keep you encouraged. Each week, we provide new and refreshing perspectives on the challenges and opportunities of mid-single life.
If you'd like to immerse yourself deeper into your own personal development and relationship journey, visit our website at loveinlateryears.com for even more resources. Don't take on divorce recovery and other relationship loss and single life alone. We are here for you.